What's good, everybody? This is Silas from silasbeats.com, and today I wanted to speak about why I listen to so many podcasts. Um, I have a lot of audio that I listen to. I am unfortunate in that I have a 9 to 5 that I need to get to every single morning, but I'm fortunate in that it gives me time to consume a lot of stuff, right? So when I drive, I'm doing one of three things. And in this order, I am consuming content. So I'm either listening to a video that I've downloaded off of YouTube, I am listening to a podcast on Spotify, or I'm listening to an audiobook on Audible, right? So I'm listening to some kind of content, or I'm creating a podcast. So I have my podcast going, my mic is going and whatnot. And while I'm driving, I'm literally just talking as I'm in traffic. Or I'm listening to the radio. And that one it's rare. It's rare that I listen to the radio or that I listen to music. If I'm listening to the radio, I'm listening to music. It's on one of those days where I just really need to decompress just because the day has either been very, very long or I'm just very, very stressed out, right? So that's basically what I consume. That's basically how I consume my time in my car, right? Now, when I'm listening to stuff, I basically have taught I've taught my apps what I like to listen to. You know, we do it all the time. When you're watching YouTube videos, you're basically teaching the algorithm as to what it should show you. And sure, I do watch silly videos every now and again, right, just to decompress. But for the most part, I am trying to pick up on certain skills, and I have themes over time that I go through. And what I'll do is I'll download 3, 4, 5 videos, and I'll have those run in the background while I'm driving. Or what I'll do is I'll find a nice long episode, maybe an hour or two. It's usually about an hour to an hour and a half of podcasts that I can just listen through different people's ideas about different things, whether it be about human psychology, music business, just business in general. That's something I've really gotten into over time. And just mindset. I think mindset is also another massive thing that I've tried to get into. The reason why I listen to so much of it is because a lot of the thoughts and ideas I have are generated from the thoughts I have about those pieces of content that I watch. Um, as an example, you know, someone might have a particular viewpoint on how hard someone should be working when they have a 9 to 5 as well as a side hustle. I have my own opinion, and that I can discuss with someone, whether it be in a podcast format, whether it be just us chilling and having a conversation, but it broadens my outlook on different things. It's also broadened the way I vocalize my ideas. Before, I was very much black and white, where it was either this or it was either that. But a lot of my thoughts now span on how does that other person understand how how what they're thinking about is going to make me feel and the people around them feel. So, as an example, if we think about human psychology and the way and the effect that saying certain things will make certain people feel a certain way. What is a predictor of that? So, if I can give you an example, if I walk into a room now and I've got a bunch of employees, right, and I walk up to them and I'm like, "Yo, um, you guys have been doing a terrible job. You know, you're not working hard enough, and you are basically you're not a disgrace, but you're like really letting the company down." And through that, I've got a lot of hand gestures, and I'm just letting people have it. Whereas I could come in and I could sort of let them know that as employees in this company, there are certain things that we try and uphold. These are the things that I believe that they have managed to uphold with regards to coming in on time, with regards to reaching a certain target, and outlining the things that we need to get done. And actually them actually being able to follow through on these things, and then from there slowly move in and say, okay, cool. So now that we've covered what it is that we have been, we've been covering, that we've been doing well, let's shift over and see which items we could improve upon. How do you feel about your quality of delivery? People will be like, yeah, no, we think it's okay, we think. And then I'd ask a couple more qualifying questions to say, okay, fine. How about the client that we had 2 weeks ago that complained about XYZ? There might be one or two people that will protest against that a little bit, but there might be one or two that will say, look guys, we actually could have done a better job, right? Now, in both situations, I've come in and I've had a complaint on my back that I wanted to offload, but I've done it in two very, very different ways, right? And in doing it in two different ways, I'm probably going to get two different types of responses. So in the first one, I came in and I was reprimanding and I was like, yo, you guys are doing a bad job. You need to fix that. You need to do it. And that is a particular style that I've seen some people have. And that's okay if they believe that that's how they get the job done. For me in particular, I would have chosen the second style more, because what it does is it allows for the people to see the problem themselves, and slowly I get to guide them towards their own answer to fix the problem, right? And also I get to uncover any little nuances that I get to pick up on just by having asked them the question, as opposed to coming in hard on the employees. So something along those lines has been something that I've picked up over the past 1 or 2 years, just through all of the stuff I've been listening through, just because I've understood that people are different. Just because I might have had a Christian background doesn't necessarily mean that everything else is foreign. Because the person sitting next to me might have had Christianity as the foreign thing. They might have been into following Islam, right? And the Muslim community, right? That's their norm. The best thing for me to do is to not come through and be overbearing in what I'm saying, and maybe I don't even need to talk about Christianity. It's not a debate, right? Not everything has to be a debate. Not everything has to be black and white to say it's either my thing or your thing or that thing. It can be a case of, let me understand what it is that you're talking about. Case in point, I was sitting in a crowd, not in a crowd, I think there were maybe 3 of us, and we were talking about spirits, right? Spirits and ghosts and that type of thing. And I have a viewpoint about it. I have spoken to a few people about it, but it's something that I think, especially in African culture and in many cultures, as I would have seen in the conversation I was having, we were multicultural in that conversation. And it turned out that we all had a version of spirits, ghosts, deities, that type of thing that we then all either believed in, followed, didn't believe in. And through all of the things that I've heard, I was able to ask the correct questions. Instead of saying, well, in my culture, this is what I do, or this is what I believe. What do you believe? It's kind of taught me to pull back and say, tell me about how you think about that thing. They'll explain, and then from there I'll start asking qualifying questions. It's just made me more inquisitive, I think, and I get a more honest response from people, because they are a lot more happy to share, knowing that I'm not here to debate. I'm not here to let you know how I think about something so that you can try and follow what it is that I'm doing or understand what I'm doing. I'm purely here to listen to what it is that you have to say, and I'm here to completely understand what it is that you have to say. Because only through me doing that do I actually understand what it is you're talking about. Because the moment I bring my thoughts into it, it becomes a comparison, right? If it's religion or it's spirits, we then start to compare our different stories. Oh no, I believe in spirits because X, Y, Z, and this is what happened, and my mother taught me this, and this is what we do, and this is what the culture says, and this is what's going on in Christianity. Whereas then they'll come in and be like, yo, we also have something like that. My dad told me this. My Islam teaches this, and this, and this. This is what I experienced. We take our experiences and we do that. We try and figure out what the similarities and the differences are. And there's a time for that. I'm happy to do that, but through listening to so much, I've kind of gotten to a place where my ideas, I will explain and expand if you ask me, but for the most part, I want to figure out fully what it is and understand fully what it is that you are about, so that when I'm asking questions, firstly, I'm not asking questions for the sake of just sort of knowing. I'm asking to understand fully. And yeah, I know I've gone on a complete tangent, but it really does help me understand people a lot better. And I think they also understand that I actually care about what it is that they're saying, and that we're not actually trying to debate. This is why I don't get involved in a lot of debates, whether it be about politics, sport, religion. They're fun sometimes. They're really fun to have because you get to hear what people are saying. But at the end of the day, we're comparing your stats versus my stats, how much you know versus how much I know. Whereas I could actually just say, why do you think Ronaldo is better than Cristiano Ronaldo? Why do you think Cristiano Ronaldo is better than Lionel Messi? Someone will tell me why. Then it's funny, after I ask that question, they always ask me, what do you think? And I'm like, look, brother, I believe they're two different types of players, but I don't have a particular thing to say that one is better than that one. And it almost seems as though I don't have an opinion. I do have an opinion on one, I've got an opinion on the other, but I don't believe that they're comparable, in my opinion. But that doesn't matter, because at that point, I'm trying to figure out what their opinion is. I don't know. I don't know if I can completely attribute this to the fact that I've listened to a lot of podcasts, but it definitely has allowed me to internalize other people's thought processes a lot better. It just makes me a little bit more of a, I don't know. It helps me understand people better. I don't know. It's me. Maybe I'm just crazy. Anyway, yeah. The last thing that I would say that I gained from listening so widely, and in different topics, is that I'm able to take other ideas from outside and bring them into music and what I'm doing here. Being able to see how that cookie business jumpstart boosted their sales because of something that they did that's very specific to the cookie industry. I brought it here. And I know that it will be something individual here because this is not the cookie industry, this is the music industry. Why not try bring something from a different industry into this? Why not try and bring in linguistics and psychology into the music industry? Because taking all of those different skills that I've picked up from listening to all of these videos and podcasts, I'm then able to take linguistics and psychology, match it up with sales so that I can then sell more in a place like this, right? I've taken skills from all sorts of different places and I've mushed them together to create whatever ideas I have going on in my brain right now. So yeah, is it better than reading? For me, yes, it is, because as much as I used to enjoy reading, I don't do it much now. I can't do it much now. My commute doesn't allow me to. It's just super convenient to have a video playing in the background or an audio playing in the background. It also helps me with my ability to multitask. So yeah, these are the main reasons. I'm sure you have your own reasons as to what you like. Actually, tell me whether you prefer, hard copy stuff, reading books, reading PDFs, that type of thing, Kindle work and that type of stuff, or you prefer listening to stuff. A lot of us are more like visual learners or like auditory learners, and that's how we consume our information. That's how it's retained better. But yeah, let me know what your thought process is like, and we can have a chat about it in the comments. Peace.